Let's start with a number most people never think about: 30,000. That's how many days the average human gets. Not years, not decades, days. If you're 30, around 11,000 of those are already gone, done, spent, non-refundable. And yet, most people walk through life like they've got infinity in the bank, putting off dreams, delaying decisions, living like time is this endless stream they can dip into someday. But here's the truth: someday is a lie. It's a trick your brain plays to make procrastination feel safe. You'll say, "I'll start when I have more time," until you run out of time altogether. The invisible countdown. You don't see the clock. It's not hanging above your head, but it's ticking, always ticking, and the cost of ignoring it? A life of quiet regrets, missed chances, and a highlight reel full of what-ifs. Time isn't just something you spend, it's something that shapes you. Every decision is a trade, and the currency is your time. Why time feels like it's speeding up. Ever noticed how time used to move slower when you were a kid? Summer felt endless. A single day felt like an entire world. But now, you blink and a year disappears. That's not just nostalgia, that's neuroscience. Your brain measures time by recording new experiences. When you're young, everything is new. New places, new feelings, new risks. Your brain is firing on all cylinders, saying, "Record this. This matters." But as you grow older and fall into routines, your brain stops noticing. Same route to work, same conversations, same content on your feed. Your days blur. Your brain stops recording, and that's why it feels like time is flying. The trap of normal. You're not running out of time. You're running out of moments that matter. That's the real danger. Not death, but drift. Living in default mode, waking up, checking your phone, doing what you've always done, and calling that living. It's not. So, what do? You break the loop. You inject novelty back into your life. Take a new route. Learn something uncomfortable. Talk to someone who sees the world differently. Go somewhere without a plan. New experiences make your brain record again. They stretch time. They wake you up. Want to slow down life? Don't wait for it to change. Make it unmissable. The big time mistake we all make. Here's something no one teaches you. We overestimate what we can do in a day, but underestimate what we can do in a year. That's why we quit too soon, why we expect transformation by Tuesday, and why we keep restarting the same goals every January. But real change isn't about force. It's about compound impact. Small, consistent actions stacking over time, tiny choices, made daily, multiplied by time. Ours, a different life. The deathbed filter. Let's jump to the end for a second. You're 90, you're looking back. What do you see? Here's a question that cuts through the noise. Would future you care about how you spent today? The answer's probably no. If today was filled with distractions, fake urgency, and checking boxes that never mattered, but maybe yes. If today had even one moment of boldness, honesty, or presence. The truth? You don't need more hours. You need more life inside the hours you already have. One final thought and a challenge. You've made it this far, which means something in you is already shifting. So here's your next move. In the next 24 hours, do one thing that makes time feel real again. Something different, something meaningful. Something that scares you just enough to make your brain go, "Oh, I'm alive?" Because you are. But this moment, it won't be. Time is supposed to be objective. 60 seconds in New York is the same as 60 seconds in Tokyo. But let's get real. It doesn't feel that way. You've had hours that dragged like wet concrete, and moments that vanished in a blink. So what gives? Here's the truth. Time doesn't live on the clock. It lives in your mind. And your mind, it plays tricks. Why childhood felt like forever. Think back, you were 8. Summer break felt like an entire lifetime. A single afternoon could stretch into what felt like a whole week. But now, you hit Thursday and wonder how the hell Monday disappeared. It's not just nostalgia. It's not getting older. It's a phenomenon called the time unit paradox. Your brain doesn't actually measure time in minutes. It measures novelty. When everything is new, your brain fires up. It records everything, every sound, every flavor, every awkward conversation at summer camp. That's what makes time feel slow. Your brain is fully awake. But when life gets predictable, same drive, same desk, same notifications, your brain goes, "We've seen this episode before." It stops recording, and suddenly, entire weeks disappear like a skipped scene in a movie. You're not tired, you're bored. This is how time slides through your fingers, not in crisis, in repetition. You're not exhausted from too much. You're suffocating in the same old. We call it routine, but it's really just a quiet kind of decay, where nothing's wrong and nothing's right either. That's the silent tragedy of adulthood. You stop noticing your own life. Hack the system. Make time feel longer. Want to stretch time? You don't need more hours. You need new inputs. Here's how you break free. Take a different route to work. Don't just reroute, explore. Start one new skill every 30 days. Even if you suck at it. Talk to a stranger, yes, an actual stranger, and listen like it matters. Say yes to something you'd usually dodge. Watch what happens. Every time you do something new, your brain lights up like a city at night. It goes, "This matters. Pay attention." And just like that, your moments slow down. You feel more. You remember more. You actually live. Stop letting time blur together. Let me ask you something. Can you remember what you did last Tuesday? In detail? No. That's not because you're forgetful. It's because nothing stood out. It's all one big beige loop, and your brain skips beige. But what if you made one moment pop every day? Something weird, something bold, something unmistakable. It would stick, and over time, so would the version of you who made it happen. The dangerous math of the everyday. Here's a lie most people believe. It's just one day, it won't matter. But days become weeks. Weeks become habits. Habits become years. And years become your life. You don't lose your time all at once. You leak it. One excuse at a time, one scroll at a time, one maybe tomorrow at a time. Until one day, the future you dreamed about quietly expires. Not with a bang, but with a shrug. Flip the script. Here's the shift. Stop measuring time by the clock. Start measuring it by impact. A 5-minute conversation that changes your mindset? That's rich time. A 90-minute meeting that drains your soul? That's bankrupt time. An unexpected adventure that breaks your pattern? That's timeless. You can't control the number of days you get, but you can control what each one holds. You're not here to survive the day. You're here to make the day remember you. Closing thought. Stop watching time pass. Bend it. Time is elastic, but only when you're awake enough to stretch it. So here's your second challenge. Inject novelty today. Anything. Doesn't matter how small, just break the pattern. Because when your days feel different, your life becomes unforgettable. And that's the game. Not more years, more life per year. Here's a hard truth. Being busy is the easiest way to waste your life. We live in a culture that glorifies grind mode. Your calendar is full, your inbox is screaming, and your to-do list is 38 items deep. It feels important. It feels like you're moving. But movement isn't progress. You can run in circles for 10 hours and still be exactly where you started. The busy trap. Most people confuse activity with achievement. We chase the dopamine hit of crossing off tasks, even if those tasks don't matter. We win the day by answering every email, cleaning up every folder, and updating every spreadsheet. But here's the question no one asks. Did any of that move you closer to the life you actually want? If you're not sure, the answer is probably no. The deathbed test. Imagine this. You're 90 years old, lying in bed, looking back at your life like it's a movie. Would you care about that extra hour you spent tweaking a PowerPoint? Would you celebrate the emails you answered at midnight? Or would you wish you'd spent more time with the people who truly mattered, more moments laughing, more sunsets, more presence? The truth is, priorities snap into focus when you look at life backward. The deathbed test is simple but brutal. Will this matter when I'm old? If the answer is no, why is it on your list today? The two-list strategy. Here's a tool I swear by, and it's deceptively powerful. Step 1. Write down everything you want to achieve in the next year. Step 2. Circle your top 3. Step 3. Everything else. That's your avoid list. Yes, avoid. Because those good but not great tasks are the real thieves of your life. They feel important, they trick you, but they steal energy from the things that actually matter. Think about compound interest, not in money, but in choices. A tiny daily investment in your top 3 priorities will multiply into something extraordinary over time, but only if you're ruthless enough to ignore the rest. The distraction tax. The modern world is designed to keep you busy, not productive. Notifications hijack your focus. Social media eats your attention like junk food. Urgent but unimportant tasks pile up like digital clutter. Here's the truth. Your time is the most expensive thing you own. Every time you say yes to something trivial, you're saying no to something meaningful. What successful people? No, the world's top performers don't do more. They do less, but with obsession. They know what to ignore. They know that not all tasks are created equal. They understand that saying no is not rejection, it's protection. Because every yes costs you something: energy, focus, time you'll never get back. A quick reality check. Think about your day yesterday. How much of it was spent on reacting to other people's requests, doing things just to look productive, checking tasks off a list that didn't move you forward? Be honest. If more than 50% of your day was maintenance work instead of meaningful work, something's off. How to reclaim your time. Start with subtraction. What can you stop doing today, not next week? Now, guard your top 3 priorities like a fortress. No notifications, no excuses. Schedule real life first. Dinner with family, workouts, creative time. Put those on your calendar before the urgent stuff. Ask yourself this: if I could only do one thing today that would make me proud, what would it be? Then do that first. The compound effect of priorities. Here's the magic. When you cut the noise, life gets clearer. You stop feeling overwhelmed. You start seeing progress. One right decision a day compounds. Suddenly, you're not just busy, you're building something that matters. Your challenge for the next 7 days: practice the deathbed test. Before you start any task, ask, would this matter if I looked back on my life? If the answer is no, cut it. If the answer is yes, do it with your full attention. Here's something no one tells you in school. Every relationship in your life is a bank account, and you're either making deposits or taking withdrawals. That random check-in text, deposit. Showing up when someone's struggling, huge deposit. Flaking out, showing up late, only calling when you need something, withdrawal. And just like real banks, if you keep withdrawing without putting anything in, the account runs dry. Why you feel disconnected, even with 1,000 friends. We live in the most connected time in human history, but somehow we're lonelier than ever. Why? Because most people focus on big moments: the birthday party, the holiday dinner, the grand gesture. But relationships aren't built in fireworks. They're built in tiny, invisible moments. The random "just thinking of you" text, remembering someone's favorite drink, listening without waiting to talk. It's not about being impressive, it's about being present. Stop thinking of relationships as optional. Here's the hard truth. Your life is shaped by your relationships, whether you realize it or not. Your network creates your next opportunity. Your friendships influence your habits. Your partner affects your energy, mindset, and future more than any single decision you'll ever make. You can't opt out of relationship dynamics. If you ignore them, they don't disappear. They decay. The mistake most people make: I don't get it. I only reach out when I need something. Why are they mad? Because that's not connection. That's transaction. Nobody wants to be your backup battery. Nobody wants to feel like they're only valuable when you're in a bind. The strongest relationships, they're built on consistency, not crisis. Build your relationship portfolio. Like wealth, think of your social circle like an investment portfolio. Strong ties are your closest friends and family. They comfort you. Weak ties, the coworker, the gym buddy, the old college friend, they're your bridge to new ideas, opportunities, and perspectives. They help you grow. Most people only nurture strong ties, but research shows weak ties often lead to your biggest breakthroughs. Say yes to the lunch invite. Send that follow-up DM. Keep the thread alive, the secret power of shared struggle. Everyone loves a good time, But you know what really bonds people? Shared suffering. It's not the party that makes the friendship. It's the night you cried in someone's car, the 3 a.m. Are you okay? Call. The tough times you face together, hard moments create emotional glue. So, don't run from them. Show up. Stay in it. That's where real connection grows. What about the people who drain you? You felt it. You leave a conversation feeling tired instead of energized, like someone took more than they gave. These people aren't bad, but they might be bad for your bandwidth. Not everyone deserves front row seats in your life. And just because someone has history with you, doesn't mean they belong in your future. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're self-respect. Want to feel like you have more time? Give it away. This will sound backwards, but it's backed by science. Helping others makes you feel like you have more time. Why? Because giving your time reminds you that time is valuable. It brings intention back into your day, and it creates connection, the kind that feeds your soul instead of draining it. Action, steps to build real social capital. Here's how to start building deposits today. Send 3 gratitude messages, not just thanks. Be specific. You probably don't know this, but that thing you said last month really stuck with me. Reconnect with one weak tie, someone you haven't talked to in months or years. Just check in, ask how they're doing, and mean it. Say yes to something social that you'd usually skip, even if it's awkward, even if it's small. Growth happens in connection. Relationships are your safety net. When life falls apart, and at some point it won't be your resume, your savings, or your followers that catch you. It'll be people, the ones you built trust with, the ones you invested in, the ones who know who you really are. Start building your net now, because when you need it, it'll be too late to weave it from scratch. Let's talk about something dangerous, not failure, not getting fired, not even being broke. Comfort. Comfort is the silent killer of growth. It's warm, it's familiar, it feels safe, but stay in it too long, and it becomes quicksand. The myth of the safe job. You've heard it, maybe even said it. I should stay here, it's stable. I don't love it, but it pays the bills. I'll leave once things calm down. Spoiler alert, things never calm down. And that safe job? It's often just a padded sell for your potential. Every month you stay in a role that no longer challenges you, you're trading possibility for predictability. You're selling off the chance to become who you could be, in exchange for a steady paycheck and a steady decline in passion. Your career isn't a ladder, it's a jungle gym. Forget everything you were told about climbing the corporate ladder. That model is broken. Modern careers aren't vertical, they're dynamic. You move sideways, diagonally, even backwards sometimes. Each move isn't a step up, it's a skill acquisition. You're not climbing a line, you're collecting tools. And the more weird, unexpected tools you gather, the more irreplaceable you become. The adjacent possible. Your next breakthrough isn't on the other side of the world. It's 1 inch outside your current comfort zone. There's a concept called the adjacent possible. It's the space between what you already know and what you could know next. That workshop you've been scared to join? Adjacent possible. That role you're underqualified for but excited about? Adjacent possible. That side project that doesn't make money yet? Adjacent possible. Growth lives in the edges, right outside what feels safe. That's where life gets interesting. Don't optimize for money too early. Here's the career mistake most people make in their 20s and 30s. They chase money instead of learning, security instead of stretch, titles instead of trajectory. But here's the secret. Money follows mastery. Every skill you gain is a lottery ticket for future opportunities. You won't know when it'll cash out, but it will. Your most valuable asset isn't your resume. It's your range. Productive procrastination. Yes, it's a thing. Can't stop avoiding that one task? Here's a trick. Use that avoidance energy to build something better. Dive into a new course. Start writing. Tinker with that business idea. Often the things we procrastinate on the least are the things we secretly love the most. They're not distractions. They're directional clues. Pay attention. How to know if you're stuck. Ask yourself, am I learning something new every week? Do I feel stretched, challenged, slightly uncomfortable? Does this role excite me, even just a little? If the answer to all three is no, you're not building a career, you're surviving a routine. And here's the problem. The longer you stay in a job you've outgrown, the harder it becomes to leave. Not because you can't, but because you forget you should. You don't have to burn it all down. This isn't about quitting your job tomorrow. This is about waking up inside your work. Take on a stretch project, pitch a bold idea, start something small on the side, build skills you're curious about, even if they don't apply. Growth doesn't require a leap of faith, just a step toward aliveness. Your career is a creative project. Think of your career like a personal art piece, not a corporate report. What are you building? What's the story it tells? What colors are you missing? Design it, paint over it, edit it. But don't let it become a blank canvas with stable written across the middle. You're not here to fill a role. You're here to create a role no one else could fill. Final thought, purpose isn't found, it's forged. Stop waiting for your dream job to show up fully formed. Purpose isn't something you find one day. It's something you build, one bold decision at a time. You build it by listening to your restlessness, by following your curiosity, by refusing to settle for easy. The longer you wait for your dream life, the further it gets. But one brave move brings it closer. So, take it. Let's flip the script. Health isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. Because here's the real question. Would you rather have 12 sluggish, distracted hours, or 8 laser-focused, high-energy, vibrant ones? You already know the answer, but most people still treat health like a side quest, an optional upgrade, a when I have time kind of thing. Big mistake. Energy is the multiplier. You don't need more time, you need more quality energy inside the time you already have. Without energy, you can't think clearly. You can't create deeply. You can't love fully. You can't lead powerfully. Energy is the real productivity hack, the force multiplier behind every meaningful action you take. And yet, most people burn it like it's unlimited. The sleep lie. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Nope. That mindset won't make you successful. It'll make you sloppy. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's a biological reset button for your brain. Without it, your decision-making is just as impaired as someone who's legally drunk. That promotion you want, that business you're building, that relationship you're trying to nurture, they all depend on a well-rested version of you. Skipping sleep isn't sacrifice. It's sabotage. You're not lazy. You're misfueled. When your energy crashes by 2 p.m. every day, it's not willpower. It's inputs. What you eat, how much you move, how long you stare at blue light, whether you breathe deeply or shallowly all day. You can't outwork chronic fatigue. You have to outsmart it. And no, you don't need to run marathons or go keto. You just need consistency in the basics. Water, sleep, movement, food that doesn't make you crash, breaks that don't include doom scrolling, the 5-minute fixes that actually work. You don't need 90-minute gym sessions. You need micro movements that create macro results. Try this. 10 push-ups in the morning, a 5-minute walk after lunch, 60 seconds of deep breathing before a meeting, stretching while your coffee brews. Your body isn't built to sit for 8 hours straight. It's built to move, and when you move, you think better. Physical motion equals mental clarity. Stuck on a problem? Get up and move. Your body will unlock what your brain can't. Morning, you versus evening, you. There are 2 versions of you. Morning you, full of ambition, discipline, motivation. Evening, you, tired, tempted, distracted. Here's the trick. Don't let morning you create a military schedule. Evening, you will never follow. Instead, design for reality. Pick one high-leverage task per day. Automate the rest. Create rituals, not rules. The more effortless you make good habits, the more consistently you'll follow through. Even when evening you just want snacks and Netflix. The real reason you feel burned out. It's not always work, it's often a lack of recovery. Recovery isn't laziness, it's reinvestment. Every athlete knows this. You don't grow during training, you grow during rest. So, build recovery into your schedule the same way you plan work. Don't wait until you crash. Refill the tank before you're empty. Take your weekends seriously. Take walks without your phone. Take naps. No guilt. Your next breakthrough might not come from grinding harder. It might come from resting better. Design your energy environment. Here's what smart people do. They don't rely on willpower. They design environments that make good choices automatic. Set your phone to grayscale during work hours. Keep junk food out of your house. Put your gym shoes by the bed. Schedule walking meetings. Use tech to help you unplug, not stay hooked. The best performers aren't disciplined all the time. They just build a world where good decisions are the default. Final truth: health is the foundation for everything. Forget work-life balance. What you really need is energy-life alignment. When your body is strong, your brain is sharp. When your brain is sharp, your choices are better. And when your choices are better, your entire life elevates. So don't treat health like an accessory. It's the engine. Fuel it, protect it, honor it, because energy is life, and without it, no amount of time will ever feel like enough. Everyone wants to grow, to be sharper, wiser, more skilled. We binge books, sign up for online courses, bookmark podcasts. But here's the twist no one tells you. You don't learn best by consuming. You learn fastest by teaching. The teacher effect. It's called the teacher effect, and it's one of the most powerful learning accelerators on Earth. When you teach something, even badly, your brain is forced to organize the information. You have to explain it, break it down, make it real. You stop being a passive sponge and start being an active filter. You clarify what you actually understand and where your thinking is still fuzzy. But I'm not ready to teach. That's the lie. You think you need to master something before you share it. But the truth? Your struggle makes you a better teacher than an expert. Why? Because you still remember what was confusing. You still know where people get stuck. You still speak in real words, not jargon. And here's the best part. The act of trying to teach is what gets you closer to mastery. Learning isn't a status game. Most people try to look smart instead of actually learning. They hoard knowledge. They collect books they never finish. They chase shiny personal development like a treadmill to nowhere. But real growth doesn't come from looking smart. It comes from getting your hands dirty with the idea, failing with it, fixing it, and eventually explaining it to someone else. That's how you own it. The power of public learning. You want to fast-track your growth. Start a blog. Share what you're learning on social media. Teach your team one new insight a week. Host a micro workshop for your peers. Not to impress them, but to anchor the knowledge in your own brain. Teaching isn't about being the smartest in the room. It's about being the clearest. And clarity is what levels you up. Read lives, not just books. Here's another cheat code: biographies. Why? Because each one gives you a lifetime of experience in a few hours. You learn from other people's bad decisions, so you don't repeat them. You witness patterns. You see what worked and what didn't. You get to sit inside someone else's brain, their doubt, risk, boldness, and breakdowns. Read 5 great biographies, and you've time-traveled across centuries of wisdom. Stay strategically bad at some things. Not everything in life deserves your mastery. In fact, the smartest people know when to say, "I suck at that, and I'm fine with it." This is called deliberate amateurism, choosing to be bad at things that don't serve your mission, so you can stay curious, flexible, and focused on what does. Being bad isn't a weakness. Trying to be great at everything is. Constraints equals creativity. Most people think freedom means unlimited options. But the truth? Creativity loves constraints. Give someone endless time and budget, they freeze. Give them a limit, they innovate. Want to learn faster? Add some boundaries. Limit your time, limit your resources, limit your scope. Now your brain has to get scrappy, and that's when your best ideas are born. Know when to quit. This one's controversial, but essential. Strategic quitting isn't failure. It's intelligence. Most people stay too long in the wrong thing out of pride or fear. They waste years trying to revive a dead dream, instead of freeing up space for the right one. Quitting fast is a growth strategy. If it's not building you, it's breaking you. Let it go. Final thought: turn struggle into service. Here's your advantage. You don't need to be the expert. You just need to be one step ahead of someone else and willing to share. That's how knowledge becomes wisdom. That's how learning becomes leadership. Take what you're learning, test it, teach it, and watch your growth accelerate. Not in theory, but in real life. Let's be clear, success isn't just about being smart. It's about being steady. You could have the highest IQ in the room, but if you crumble under pressure, explode in meetings, or shut down during conflict, none of that brain power matters. What you really need is emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, regulate, and use your emotions instead of being ruled by them. And here's the wild part. Most of us were never taught how. Your emotions have a timer. You know that feeling, anger, fear, frustration, the wave that hits you out of nowhere? Your heart races. You say something you regret. You spiral. Here's the science. That emotional chemical surge, it only lasts about 90 seconds. After that, if you're still in it, still angry, still panicking, you're not feeling the emotion anymore. You're feeding it. You can't control the first wave, but you can control the second. You're human. You will get triggered. You will feel overwhelmed, irritated, sad. But after the initial rush, you have a choice. React or respond. Explode or explore. Suppress or process. Emotional intelligence isn't about being positive all the time. It's about learning to ride the wave without getting dragged under. Why emotional mastery? Greater than raw talent. The person who can stay calm in chaos. That's the person people trust. That's who gets the promotion. That's who people follow when everything hits the fan. Not the loudest, not the most charming, but the most emotionally grounded. And here's the secret. That kind of steadiness isn't natural. It's trained. Strategic vulnerability. The trust accelerator. Most people think emotional control means being stone cold. Wrong. Smart people don't hide emotion. They use it strategically. They know when to open up, not to seek validation, but to build connection. You want to build trust fast? Don't pretend to be perfect. Show people you've been through something, that you've made mistakes, that you've felt the same things they're feeling. Authenticity is magnetic. Vulnerability, when timed right, is power. The hidden cost of avoiding hard conversations. Let's talk about something everyone dreads. Difficult conversations. You know the ones. Telling the truth when it's uncomfortable. Giving real feedback. Drawing a boundary. Asking for what you actually want. Avoiding those talks doesn't keep things peaceful. It builds emotional debt. And that debt compounds. Small resentments become blow-ups. Little lies become toxic silence. You lose trust with others and yourself. Courage isn't yelling. It's saying the thing when it's still small. Gratitude you never express is useless. Let's flip to something softer, but just as powerful. Gratitude. You already know it's good for your mindset. But here's what people miss. Unexpressed gratitude is worthless. It's like having money in the bank and never using it. That person who helped you last month, tell them. The friend who checked in when you were off, tell them. Make your appreciation loud, often, specific, because gratitude isn't just for them. It shifts you into a state of connection instead of scarcity. Regulate first, solve second. When life hits hard, most people go straight into fix-it mode. But the smartest thing you can do, pause, regulate, then act. Because a dysregulated brain makes bad decisions. It catastrophizes, it reacts, it overcommits or shuts down. If you're emotionally flooded, take a beat. Breathe deep and slow. Move your body, step outside. Write it down before you speak it out loud. Your nervous system isn't the enemy, it's the gatekeeper. Calm it first, then move forward. Build your emotional fitness like a muscle. You wouldn't expect to lift 300 pounds your first day at the gym. Same goes for emotional resilience. You build it gradually, by noticing your triggers, by slowing your reaction time, by having one brave conversation at a time, by being honest with yourself before you're forced to be honest with others. Over time, you stop reacting from wounds and start responding from wisdom. Final thought. Inner peace is a skill. It's not woo-woo, it's not soft. It's strategy. In a noisy world, your calm is your competitive edge. Your presence is your power. Your ability to feel without falling apart, that's real strength. So don't just work on your goals, work on your nervous system. Because once you master your inner weather, you can handle any storm. Let's start with this. Money is not the goal. That might sound crazy in a world obsessed with income, investments, and flex culture. But stay with me. Money is just a tool. What you're actually chasing is freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of choice, freedom from anxiety. But here's the twist. Most people chase money in ways that cost them the very freedom they're after. The time poor rich. You've seen them. High salary, luxury lifestyle, full calendar, constant stress. They made it. But now they work 80 hours a week just to sustain a version of life that owns them. Bigger house equals bigger maintenance, fancy car equals higher insurance, exclusive neighborhood equals longer commute. More income equals more people expecting more from you. They're not rich, they're just well-decorated prisoners. Lifestyle inflation, the silent treadmill. Here's how it happens. You make more money, so you upgrade your life. The apartment becomes a condo. The 5-year-old car becomes a Tesla. The budget vacation becomes a luxury getaway. That $30 dinner, now it's $180 on a Tuesday. Each upgrade feels earned, but it also raises the baseline. And suddenly, you need more income just to feel normal. That's lifestyle inflation. And it's a trap, because now you're running faster just to stay in place. More stuff, less freedom, time, affluence greater than financial affluence. Here's a question most people never ask. Would I rather make $100,000 working 80 hours a week or $70,000 working mupadu? Your hourly rate isn't just dollars per hour. It includes your commute stress, sleep loss, missed moments with family burnout or recovery time. Most people optimize for more income. Smart people optimize for more life per hour. Because what good is wealth if you're too exhausted to enjoy it? Own less, live more. We live in a culture of ownership. Own the house, own the car, own the brand names. But here's the real flex. Freedom from ownership. Smart people buy experiences. Why? Because experiences appreciate in memory. That trip, that concert, that road trip with bad weather but good laughs. Those moments grow in value over time. Rent objects, the car, the camera, the designer outfit for one night. Borrow the utility, not the responsibility. It's not about minimalism. It's about strategic ownership. You don't need to own everything. You just need access to what matters, when it matters. Build margins, not just money. True financial wisdom isn't about stacking cash. It's about building margins. Margins give you space to say no to bad clients, breathing room when plans fall apart, power to walk away from toxic jobs or toxic people, time to take risks, create, explore. Living below your means isn't a sacrifice. It's a strategy. It's not about restriction. It's about flexibility. Margins create movement, and movement creates momentum. Redefine what wealth means for you. Don't let Instagram define success for you. If wealth means waking up without an alarm, having time to pick up your kids from school, building something meaningful, not just profitable, saying yes to who and what lights you up, then that's your metric. Measure that. Not just net worth, but life worth. The one question that changes everything. Before you spend money, ask, will this make me feel rich in time or just look rich in lifestyle? Because every dollar you spend is a vote for more freedom or more pressure, a vote for meaningful experiences or maintenance-heavy stuff. Choose wisely. Your future self is watching. Final thought. You don't need to be rich to live richly. There are millionaires who are miserable, and baristas who feel deeply alive, because richness has less to do with money and more to do with how well you've aligned your resources with your values. You don't need a raise to start living differently. You need a reframe. Time is your most valuable currency. Spend it like it matters, because it does. Let's get one thing straight. Creativity isn't just for artists. It's not exclusive to poets, painters, or startup founders. If you solve problems, build things, write ideas, raise kids, or run a business, you're creative. You just forgot. Because school taught you to color inside the lines, society taught you to play it safe, and fear taught you to wait until your idea is perfect. But here's the raw truth. Creativity isn't lightning, it's plumbing, the rusty faucet principle. When you first turn on a faucet that hasn't been used in a while, what comes out? Rust, gunk, murky water. But then, clarity. Your mind works the same way. The first ideas are messy, obvious, embarrassing even. That's not failure, that's flushing the pipes. But most people quit too soon. They say, I'm not creative. This idea sucks. I'll wait for inspiration. You don't wait for clean water before turning on the tap. You turn the tap until the clean water comes. Creativity loves constraints. You think you need total freedom to be creative? Wrong. Too many options paralyze. Too much time invites procrastination. Too much flexibility dilutes urgency. Give someone a blank page and infinite time, they freeze. Give them a deadline, a word count, and 20 minutes, they move. Creativity is problem solving inside a box. And the smaller the box, the more clever you have to be. Need proof, Shakespeare wrote in rigid iambic pentameter. Haikus have 17 syllables. TikToks are 60 seconds. Limits force brilliance. Create first, judge later. Ever tried to create something while judging it in real time? It's like driving with one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. You write one sentence, then delete it. You sketch an idea, then convince yourself it's stupid. You record a video, then never post it. Here's the rule. Don't edit in the same phase you create. Create like no one's watching. Then judge like a ruthless critic after the first draft exists. Separate creation from evaluation. That's how masterpieces are born. Document. Overthink, not sure what to create? Don't try to invent something new. Just document what you're already doing. That thing you just learned, share it. That system you built at work, teach it. That idea bouncing around in your head, say it out loud. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to be real. Documenting is creating, and your story, your process, your angle, that's what makes it original. Your creativity is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, the more fragile it becomes. You don't need to be prolific. You just need to be consistent. Try this. One idea a day. Doesn't matter how small. One thing you publish every week. Doesn't need to go viral. One new medium per month. Audio, video, sketch, voice memo, short post. Make it playful. Make it messy. Creativity thrives when pressure dies. Combine skills. Find your edge. Here's a cheat code. You don't need to be the best at any one thing. You need to combine skills in a way no one else does. Maybe you're decent at writing, plus great at comedy equals newsletter that makes people laugh. Or good at design, plus psychology equals website that converts like crazy. Or curious about tech, plus storytelling equals content that simplifies complex topics. Your unique creative superpower is often found in the intersection. Don't compete, combine, share your ugly work. Yes, even the cringe stuff, especially the early stuff. Why? Because progress is only visible if you track it. Your first 10 creations will probably suck. Your next 20 will be shaky. By 50, you're starting to hit your rhythm. By 100, you're dangerous. But none of that happens if you keep waiting for ready. Show your work. Messy greater than missing. Final thought. You're not waiting for the perfect idea. You're avoiding imperfect action. Perfectionism is fear in fancy clothes. It sounds noble, but what it really says is, if I can't guarantee success, I'd rather do nothing. You don't need a perfect idea. You need a messy first try. That's how the engine turns on. That's how you get unstuck. So, create. Today. Badly if needed, but visibly. Because creativity isn't a gift, it's a faucet. Turn it on and let it run. You don't need another productivity hack, or another color-coded calendar, or a new app that promises to optimize your workflow. Because the real bottleneck in your life isn't time, it's energy. Let that land. You can have all the time in the world, but if you're mentally foggy, emotionally fried, or physically drained, you'll waste every minute. The myth of more time. You think you need more hours. You don't. You need more energy per hour. Think about it. Have you ever had a full free day and still got nothing done? Or had just 2 hours but crushed your to-do list like a machine? Same time, different energy. That's the real difference maker. You're not tired, you're leaking, Most people aren't lazy, they're leaking energy without realizing it. Every decision, every distraction, every forced conversation, every notification, toxic habit, open loop, or unresolved thought. They all take tiny withdrawals from your energy bank. You don't need more willpower. You need to stop the leaks. Audit your energy, like a budget. Here's a challenge. Track your energy like you'd track money. Ask, what gives me energy? What drains me? What activities leave me sharper, calmer, or more focused? Who are my energy vampires? Where do I feel alive, even if I'm tired? Then double down on the energizers. Cut, limit, or redesign the drains. It's not about being ruthless, it's about staying lit without burning out. Willpower is a finite resource. Here's the truth no productivity guru wants to admit. Willpower is not reliable. It's like a muscle, and it fatigues fast. The more decisions you force yourself to make, the weaker it gets. That's why the most high-functioning people do this. Eat the same breakfast. Wear a simple outfit. Block off time for the same task each day. They're not boring, they're strategic. They're protecting mental bandwidth for what actually matters. Decision fatigue is real. Every tiny choice takes a toll. What to wear, what to eat, what to say, when to work out, which task to do next. Solution? Automate the trivial, systemize the small stuff so your brain is free for big things. Think of your energy like Wi-Fi bandwidth. You don't want background apps eating up 80% while your main project is buffering. Strategic incompetence. Yes, it's a real thing. Here's a weird but genius move. Be deliberately bad at things you don't want to do. That way, people stop asking. Seriously, stop pretending to be great at stuff that drains you. Say, I'm not the right person for that. I've learned it's not my strength. Here's someone better for the job. This protects your energy for the work that only you can do. The work that lights your fire, not burns it out. Build energy recovery into your schedule. Rest isn't earned, it's required. The same way athletes train and recover. You need built-in bounce-back time. Take walking breaks. Schedule buffer time between meetings. Block out white space in your week, non-negotiable. You don't squeeze energy from rest. You squeeze results from energy. So don't just plan your work, plan your recovery. Energy is seasonal, not constant. You're not a robot. You're a human with natural rhythms. Learn them. What time of day are you most creative? When does your brain want deep focus? When do you feel social versus introverted? Align your hardest work with your peak energy. And give yourself grace when you're in a natural dip. Not every week is a sprint. Respect your seasons. Final thought. Burnout isn't from doing too much, it's from doing too little of what lights you up. The real cause of burnout isn't just overwork, it's emotional starvation, doing work that doesn't excite you, saying yes to people you don't align with, living a schedule you didn't design. That doesn't just drain you, it disconnects you from yourself. Guard your fire, protect your energy like it's your most precious asset, because it is. With energy, you're unstoppable. Without it, you're just busy dying. You've heard it before. It's not what you know, it's who you know. But let's take that deeper. Because the truth is, success isn't just about knowledge. It's about connection, and not the surface level kind. Not business cards, not LinkedIn followers, not fake smiles at networking events. We're talking about real relationships, built over time, strengthened through presence, rooted in mutual trust, not mutual benefit. What social capital actually means. Social capital is the value of your relationships. It's what happens when someone recommends you in a room you're not in, when your name is associated with trust, when people vouch for you without hesitation. It's not transactional, it's relational. You don't build social capital by working the room. You build it by investing in people consistently when you don't need anything in return. The friendship formula. Time plus vulnerability plus shared experience. You want deep connection? You need 3 ingredients. Time, quick texts don't cut it. Real friendship needs hours logged. Vulnerability. Be honest, be messy. Say how you really feel. Shared experience. Do something together. Struggle through something, celebrate something. You can't shortcut those things. But when you have them, you've got gold. Stop collecting, start connecting. We live in a world of professional collectors. Let's grab coffee sometime. Let's stay in touch. I'll add you on LinkedIn. And then, nothing. Here's the shift. Don't be a collector. Be a connector. The best networkers aren't the ones who know everyone. They're the ones who introduce people who need to know each other. They create value. They bridge gaps. They don't just network for themselves. They weave networks around them. Weak ties are your hidden power. You already know your close circle is important, but here's what most people miss. Your biggest opportunities often come from people you're barely connected to. That acquaintance you met once at a retreat, the ex-coworker you haven't seen in 3 years, the friend of a friend you connected with on Instagram. Those are your weak ties. And research shows they're often the gateway to new jobs, ideas, collaborations, and breakthroughs. So stop ignoring them. Nurture those tiny threads. You never know which one will become a bridge. How to build social capital without being weird about it. Here's your playbook. Check in randomly. Don't wait for a reason. A thinking of you message goes a long way. Send value without asking for anything. Saw this article and thought of you. I remember you said you were struggling with X. Here's something I found helpful. Give first, without keeping score. Generosity is your brand. Make it part of your identity. Reconnect before you need something. If the only time someone hears from you is when you need a favor, you've already lost. Relationships are built in the small moments. Most people wait for big milestones, reunions, weddings, crisis moments. But real relationships are built in the tiny, forgettable interactions. A 2-minute voice note, a spontaneous FaceTime, a funny meme that says, "Hey, I see you." You don't build connection in the spotlight. You build it in the shadows of the ordinary. Build community before you need it. Here's the mistake most people make. They try to build a support system after the storm hits. That's too late. You need to be planting seeds now, so that when you face loss, chaos, uncertainty, or opportunity, you already have roots. Your community isn't just your safety net. It's your springboard. Social capital is more than networking. It's life insurance. Not in the financial sense, in the human sense. When everything falls apart, it's not your resume, your money, or your Instagram followers that'll catch you. It's the people who know your heart, the people you've shown up for, the people who show up without being asked. Build those bonds, water those roots. Be that person, and attract those people. Final thought, don't just grow your network, grow your impact. Make people feel seen, make people feel remembered. Make people feel like they matter. That's your legacy. Not how many people know your name, but how many people felt more themselves because you knew theirs. Thinking harder doesn't mean thinking better. And gathering more information doesn't always lead to clarity. What you need isn't more content. It's better mental models. Mental models are frameworks, shortcuts your brain uses to make sense of reality. They're like glasses. The clearer the lens, the more accurately you see the world. Bad model, you keep misjudging people, problems, and possibilities. Good model, you start playing chess in a world full of checkers. The map is not the territory. Let's start with this core truth. Your view of the world is never the world itself. What you believe is always a simplified version of reality. That's the good news and the bad news. Good news, simplified maps help you navigate. Bad news, if your map is outdated, biased, or too narrow, you'll keep getting lost. Mental models give you better maps. They don't make life easier. They make it more navigable. Second order. Thinking what happens after what happens next. Most people ask, what will this decision do? Sharp thinkers ask, what will this decision cause? And then what will that cause? Example. You take on a high-paying client who drains you. First order result, more income. Second order, stress, less time for your core work. Resentment, burnout. Second order thinking helps you play the long game. It shows you the ripple effect, not just the splash. Inversion, don't just ask, how can I win? Ask, how could I lose? Smart thinkers flip the problem. Instead of asking, how do I succeed? Also ask, how could I fail? And how do I avoid that? It's called inversion, and it's one of the most underrated thinking tools ever. Examples, don't ask how to be happy. Ask what makes you miserable, and eliminate it. Don't only ask how to get in shape. Ask what destroys your energy and avoid that. Sometimes the best strategy is subtraction, not addition. Circle of competence. Know what you don't know. The most dangerous people in any room aren't the ones who are unqualified. They're the ones who think they're qualified, but aren't. Self-awareness is everything. Know what you know what you don't know. Stay curious where your map has blank spots. Confidence comes from clarity, not pretending. The power of multiple perspectives. Your brain craves simplicity. It wants black and white answers. It wants to be right. But truth is rarely that clean. Train yourself to ask, what would the opposite of this belief say? What would this look like through someone else's eyes? What if both sides are right and wrong in different ways? This isn't indecision. It's intellectual humility. And it's rare. Pattern greater than data smart. People don't just collect facts. They collect patterns because facts change. Context shifts. But patterns predict. Examples of thinking in patterns. This is the third time I've overcommitted to a project I didn't believe in. I notice I lose focus after skipping workouts. Every time I ignore my gut, I regret it within 2 weeks. If you keep bumping into the same wall, it's not bad luck. It's a pattern. Track it, learn it, redirect it, understand. Knowing that a tomato is a fruit, that's knowledge. Understanding not to put it in a fruit salad, that's wisdom. Real power comes not from what you know, but from how you use what you know. That's why 2 people can read the same book, and one will change their life, while the other just adds it to a shelf. Don't chase content, chase comprehension. All mental models are meant to be switched out. Here's what most people get wrong. They find one belief system, one lens, and treat it like gospel. They never update, never adapt. But good thinkers, they switch lenses depending on the situation, use logic for decisions, use empathy for people, use inversion for risk, use pattern recognition for personal growth, use first principles when nothing else works. Your brain is a toolkit, not a hammer. Pick the right tool for the job. Final thought, think better, live brighter. Mental models aren't about sounding smart. They're about seeing clearly. Because once you can see clearly, you stop chasing what doesn't matter. You stop falling for the same traps. You stop being confused by life's complexity and start navigating it with precision. Think better, live brighter. Choose your next thought wisely. Here's a brutal truth most people ignore. You can't think your way into the right life. You can only live your way into it. And that means testing, not just planning, because the perfect plan doesn't exist. You won't figure it all out in your head, and waiting until you know for sure is the fastest way to waste years. Most people are planning a life they've never lived. Ever notice how people make 5-year plans, but have no idea how the next 5 days will actually feel? They imagine careers they've never tried. They romanticize lifestyles they've only seen on Instagram. They chase goals that belong to someone else. Then they wonder why they feel stuck. The problem? They're trying to design their life like a blueprint, when it should be more like a prototype. Think like a scientist, not a fortune teller. A scientist doesn't say, this theory will definitely work. They say, let's test it. They build, they try, they learn, they adjust. That's the mindset you need for life design. Want to be a writer? Publish a blog post this week. Curious about coaching? Offer 1 free session. Thinking of moving cities? Work remotely from there for a weekend. Considering a career change? Shadow someone in that field. Don't guess. Test. Tiny experiments. Massive clarity. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need evidence. Because action creates feedback, and feedback builds confidence. Most people wait for clarity before taking action. But the truth is, action gives you clarity. One small win creates momentum. One tiny shift creates insight. One bold test creates direction. Design your life like a portfolio. Think of your life as more than just a career path. It's a portfolio of experiences, skills, relationships, values, and experiments. When you design like a portfolio, you don't expect one thing to fulfill you. You diversify your meaning. You learn faster. You bounce back quicker. You're not trying to get it right on the first try. You're building layers of learning and impact over time. Start with micro shifts. You don't need a reinvention. You need a redirection. Try this. Change one habit for 7 days. Shift your morning by 15 minutes. Cut one negative input from your week. Add one life-giving action to your calendar. Think of it like compound interest. Tiny shifts, big returns if you stay in motion. Your metrics might be lying to you. Most people measure their life using default metrics: money, status, productivity, praise. But what if success meant feeling energized, having time to create, being surrounded by people who get you, becoming more aligned with your values? Redefine your metrics. Your life should feel successful on the inside, not just look successful on the outside. Run monthly life reviews. Don't wait until burnout, heartbreak, or breakdown forces you to reflect. Run regular check-ins. Ask, what's working right now? What's draining me? What am I proud of from this month? What needs a redesign? Your life is a system. If you don't audit it, you can't upgrade it. Don't fear quitting. Fear staying stuck. Quitting isn't always a failure. In fact, the right kind of quitting is strategic. Quitting frees up your energy, time, and identity. It gives you space to start the right thing. Don't cling to the job, project, or routine that used to work. If it no longer serves you, release it. Letting go is how you create room to grow. You are the architect. No one's coming to save you. This isn't about finding your one true path. It's about realizing that you get to build the path, brick by brick, experiment by experiment, misstep by adjustment. No guru, no boss. No perfect moment is going to design your life for you. You are the designer. You are the test subject. You are the one. Final thought: progress is a direction, not a destination. Stop waiting to feel ready. You won't. Start moving. Then adjust. Test. Learn. Building pivot. Repeat. That's not failure. That's how transformation actually happens. Your life isn't a puzzle to solve. It's a story to design, one page at a time. Let's cut through the noise. You get one shot at this life, one stretch of 30,000 days, one finite window to make your mark, love fully, and live wide awake. And yet, most people drift. They say someday. They wait for permission. They run other people's playbooks and wonder why they feel empty. You're not most people. You're still reading this, which means something inside you is stirring. And now, it's time to answer it. Time will pass, whether you use it or not. Every second, your life is moving, with or without your participation. The days you ignore, they still count. The opportunities you delay, they still pass. The dreams you shelf, they gather dust, not momentum. You don't need more hours. You need more meaning inside the hours you already have. And that only comes from living on purpose. Your habits become your days. Your days become your years. Your years become your life. Read that again. Because you don't suddenly wake up at 60 with a fulfilling, vibrant life. You build it. One day, one decision, one repeated action at a time. If you want a different future, don't look 10 years ahead. Look at today's habits. What are you repeating that expands you? What are you repeating that's silently erasing you? The clock's not judging, but it is counting. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to begin. Change doesn't start with a grand gesture. It starts with one intentional move, one deep conversation, one hard boundary, one chapter read, one early wake-up, one risk that scares you, just enough. Big lives are built through tiny wins that stack quietly until one day you realize, I'm not the same person anymore. Here's what you know now. After this journey, these 15 chapters, you've gathered a set of unshakable truths. Time is your most precious currency. Energy is your real productivity hack. Relationships are your wealth. Learning compounds when shared. Creativity needs motion, not perfection. Health fuels everything. Emotions can be regulated, not repressed. Money buys time, not just things. Community is your safety net. Mental models shape your reality. Life design happens through experiments, not plans. This isn't theory. It's a new lens to see, shape, and fully inhabit your one and only life. One question to ask yourself every morning. What would today look like if I lived it like it actually mattered? Not perfectly, not productively, not to impress anyone, just mattered. Try it. You'll stop checking boxes, you'll start checking in with yourself. Regret is the most expensive debt you'll ever carry. In the end, it's not failure that haunts people. It's what they never tried, the love they didn't express, the ideas they never shared, the boundaries they didn't draw, the version of themselves they almost became. Don't let that be your story. Don't be the one who whispers, "I wish I had." Be the one who says, "I'm so glad I did." The real enemy isn't time, it's delay. Every time you say, "I'll start when things calm down," when I'm less tired, once I figure it out, you're gambling with your future. The perfect moment doesn't come. You create it by starting messy, starting scared, starting anyway. Final words. Choose one idea and make it yours. You've just taken in thousands of words, more than advice. These were invitations. Now you have a choice. Don't try to change everything. Just choose one principle that hit you hardest. Implement it, track it, test it, make it yours. Transformation doesn't come from knowing. It comes from doing. Last reminder, this life isn't a warm-up. It's the main event. And every minute you live fully is one you never have to regret. You don't need to find yourself. You just need to start building the version of you that's been waiting to emerge. Start now. Start small, but start. The best time to live fully wasn't someday. It was always today.